Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's having the courage to continue that counts. That's one of my favourite quotes, and it relates a bit to this video today, and bear it in mind. It's about putting the work into your sobriety, because complacency will kill. There's no doubt about that, as I've discovered a couple of times over the last 6 years. And many times over my life, to be honest with you, without going into all those details. But I want to talk about putting the work in today and how important it is to do that on a daily and sometimes hourly basis, or wherever it's needed. Stopping drinking, or stopping drinking alcohol or taking drugs, is the simple part. I know that sounds glib, but just not putting it in your mouth, not taking a drink or not taking a drug, stopping, that's the easiest part. Obviously then you come to the withdrawal, which is, as you all know who've experienced it, exceedingly difficult. And please look at my videos I've got many videos on alcohol and opiate withdrawal and other drugs, withdrawal from other drugs on this channel. Please subscribe, like and share the videos. It just helps more people see them, perhaps help more people. So yeah, withdrawal. And then the other side of that comes the hard part. The part that takes that courage, the courage to carry on and keep standing up when you fall down. That old Confucius saying, get knocked down twice, stand up 3 times, really does apply to those early days of sobriety. And we're all human beings, and there will be setbacks, because we're human. One thing I've learned in my sobriety is that it's okay to be okay, and it's okay to be not okay. And what I mean by that is, you're a human being and life happens around you, and your emotions are constantly changing, your circumstances are constantly changing and fluid. Every minute, it could be happening to you every minute, every hour. Bad things, good things, and it's okay to be okay and it's okay not to be okay. But it's much easier to deal with those hard times. And you will have them in your life. It's inevitable, isn't it? Because we all do. We'll have tragic times and sad times, and we'll have amazing times. Let's hope the amazing times outweigh the sad times, but it's just life happening around us. But you're much more able to deal with those hard times, those sad times, if you're putting the work in and if you're sober. Your sobriety will be strong if you're putting the work in daily. There's no doubt about it. I mean, over this last 6 years, I documented on this channel when a couple of years ago that I relapsed, and I'd stopped putting the work in. There's no doubt about it. I was complacent, and it nearly killed me. Within days and weeks. With me, it's always it's a slow process. I become what's known as a dry drunk, and basically, my ego starts to surface again. I think this happens to all of us, and we start to try and control things, and which are impossible. Then we start to build up anger and resentments against people, places, things, whatever. And that's a gradual build-up inside of us. And we're not even realising this is happening when we stop doing what we need to do and putting the work in. It's a slow burn. And before we realise it, this hungry, angry, lonely, tired, because we start to isolate and become lonely. And we stop sleeping properly, and that's the tired. All these things sort of build up over a period of time, and before you know it, with me, it always sort of manifests in, I'm a real exponent of a healthy diet. I'm a chef, I've got no excuse, I've got time on my hands to cook. So I eat healthily, I know how good it is for me and for my sobriety, energy, mood, everything. But when I start to, junk food starts to creep in, and I start to pig on crisps and rubbishy foods and sweets and sugar, without realising it, I know that's part of that downward slope and this dry drunk. And you're clinging on by your fingertips without realising it. And then you'll fall. And believe you me, It only takes a day, 2 days to be back worse off than you were when you stopped. Because it's a progressive illness, alcoholism, drug addiction. It progresses, it gets worse, it never ever gets better. You know, I'm talking to people out there who know they have a problem around alcohol and drugs. Not those people who, you know, can take a drink and a drug and then put it down for days, weeks on end and not have an issue with it. I'm talking about for those of us who can't stop when we start, you know, and have been to hell and back with it. And I'm saying that when you do relapse, it's 100 times worse than it ever was before. You know, and within days, you know, you're drinking quantities that could kill someone, you know, very, very easily. And with me, I was sick. Within a week, I was back to square one, vomiting blood again. You know, so these things, if you're not putting the work in, will creep up on you. So I put the effort in every day now. And I know a lot of you out there watching this are not into meetings and AA and NA and CA and all that. You may be, or some of you may be. For me, that's my thing. You know, I rediscovered it again because I discovered that without it, I was clinging on basically. I wasn't enjoying, you know, and I was a dry drunk as it were. And immediately the fellowship has welcomed me back in, and it's amazing, you know. But I'm not going to preach that on here because that's my thing, and that's my private thing. And as you may have many different things which are keeping you sober, things you do every day, you know, and I include in that exercise, meditation, journaling, gratitude lists, diet, you know, 100 supplementation, many things. You know, but you're putting the work in, you know, you're letting go, talking to people, talking to professionals, or just talking to people in groups, you know, smart sobriety, smart recovery, that type of thing. You know, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because you're unloading your, you know, doing essentially doing AA really, that fellowship and non-judgment and love and acceptance that you immediately get. And also spotting the similarities and not the differences. You're in a room full of people that are exactly the same as you in essence. They've all been through extremely similar, or if not the same experiences as you have, and immediately you recognise that. And I go away from every meeting learning something every time, which is brilliant, you know, and it's almost like medicine for the soul for me. And but you have your own thing, and that's fine as well, as long as you're doing the work and putting the effort in. And yesterday was a prime example. I went to, you know, I didn't have a meeting planned, but felt like I needed one. An hour's walk and a return train ride, quite a long way away to get to that particular meeting, because it was the only one available, was necessary. So I put the work in, and God, was it amazing. It was incredible. And I needed it and came away feeling amazing and calm and happy and at peace with the world, basically. So it's really important to recognise that it takes hard work and effort, you know, and sobriety and long-term sobriety is not something you can, if you've had a serious problem with alcohol and drugs, that you can ever sit back on and totally relax, because it's always going to be there if you're not, you know, those things that drove you to it in the first place. If you haven't dealt with them, such as pain, for instance, past pain, present pain, physical pain, that's a number one really. Resentment and pain and anger are the drivers behind addiction and alcoholism and all the rest of it, many times. So unless you've dealt with that and are dealing with it constantly and all those other things that you do to keep you strong, it will creep back up on you, believe me. Because, you know, I've been there as someone who's had long-term sobriety and had a slip. You know, I've been there, I know what it's like. And look back at that on the channel, you know, a couple of years ago. Because I talk a lot about it. Anyway, I hope that's been of some use to you. Carpe Diem, seize the day today. Please subscribe, like and share the videos. Put the work in on a daily basis. It's okay not to be okay. You know, remember that. Because sometimes you can sit on those feelings and not talk about them and they get worse and worse. And if you're not doing what you should be doing, they'll overwhelm you, and you'll fall. You know, so be aware of them. Be the watcher of your thoughts, as I always say, and listen to your gut and listen to your heart. Much love to you all. Stay strong out there. Take care. Bye bye.